this is your arguably second biggest show of the year. You need to promote it, get us excited about it, right? On the other hand, if I was playing devil's advocate, I could argue and say, if there's one pay-per-view that doesn't need to be promoted and hyped, it's the Royal Rumble. You already know the stakes. They really aren't promoting this Royal Rumble much at all. It's because they got so many other things to talk about and promote. You know, they had the Saturday Night's Main Event. So the last week and a half has been directed towards that. They haven't really done much for after the Rumble. So I saw a lot of conversation about that too. And on one hand, I get it. Well, on one hand, I absolutely understand the thought of, this is your arguably second biggest show of the year. You need to promote it, get us excited about it, right? On the other hand, if I was playing devil's advocate, I would argue and say, with the Royal Rumble, yes, we want to be fed. We want to be worked. That's why we watch it. We all know what this is, but you want to have the excitement surrounded. So when Saturday comes or Sunday comes, or whatever day it is, the show is on, you are at your level 10 excitement level. But I could argue and say, if there's one pay-per-view that doesn't need to be promoted and hyped, it's the Royal Rumble. You already know the stakes. Women's Rumble, Men's Rumble, winner, main events, WrestleMania. They get a title shot. Yes, it's always great when we can get now some underlining stories that we're going to see in the Rumble, right? They told one on Raw about the Vision, where it's all four in the match now, and they came together and said, "Hey, Braun Breaker, he needs to be the one that wins it." Now, is it going to be that easy, or are we going to see some shenanigans where somebody tries to throw one out from the Vision, right? Whatever. But we know that's a story that we have coming up. We saw the way Liv Morgan looked at Raquel on Monday. Does she do something that makes the Judgment Day look at her kind of funky? Who knows? So it's always fun when there are a little bit of stories, but at the end of the day, I think they've done a really good job with making AJ and Gunther very important in the last 2 weeks. Sammy and Saudi is just like Punk in Chicago. You mention it once and it's going to take on a life of its own. So Sammy versus Drew has the hype behind that there. And then you got the 2 Rumble matches. So for me, I'm just as excited for Saturday if we didn't have Saturday's Main Event than if I was. But boy, and we haven't seen the Rumble yet, give me Saturday Night's Main Event. Right?
Matt, you didn't say anything different than what I said at the start of the show. The Royal Rumble is really kind of a waste of time. Now, they've done a great job with the mention of the retirement match. Well, that's once in a wrestler's lifetime, so you're only going to get that every so often. But cool, timing worked out good for them. Sammy and everything about Sammy and him being there, that's beautiful. That's poetic. Okay, I'll give you that. But all it really is the 2 Rumble matches. And you're going to get a whole lot of tomfoolery in the very beginning. And you'll get a couple surprises, and then boom, in the last 10 minutes of both matches, that's when things will pick up, and we'll see. Maybe you'll get some threading of storylines. Maybe you might get some just even beginnings in the planting of the seeds of storylines because, hey, why did you throw me over so quick? We're teaming up. All of that, I get that. But it kind of is just a waste of time. You said nothing different than what I said. You just articulated differently.
It was completely
look like I'm not a hater.
different.
No, but it's still the same thing.
Different.
At the end of the day, the results are the same. It's kind of a waste of time.
But if that's the case, then every wrestling show is a waste of time. You just sat here and talked about, Saturday Night's Main Event was the best PLE in history. What happened on Saturday Night's Main Event? The women defended their tag titles, no title change. We had a match that was a no contest, not even a match. We had Sami Zayn winning the 4-way, right? So what are you talking about? If that's the case, you can argue that in every show. It's all about the execution. All about the execution.